It was a huge shock when I got diagnosed, getting a regular once-a-year checkup. They sent me to a specialist. After like 30 minutes, he sent me to get a sonogram. They rushed me in to get a scan. That afternoon, I got the phone call from the doctor saying, I don't like to do this on the phone, but you have, a large tumor coming from your pancreas. What can you say? You're 33 years old. What does this mean? I didn't know what to do. I actually felt very lost. I don't know anything about doctors. I don't know anything about how much this is going to cost. Where can you go?
I started the Bone Marrow Foundation 27 years ago, seeing a need for patients and families while they were going through the journey of a transplant. I met Sean Johnstone when he started coaching my kids in squash. When Sean was diagnosed, I saw that the foundation could really help him get the financial support he needed and the emotional support as well. And it just hit me. I saw that this work that we were doing could benefit so many more patients that were diagnosed with any form of cancer. So, responding to the needs of patients, we have changed our name from the Bone Marrow Foundation to the Bone Marrow and Cancer Foundation. We have expanded our mission to all cancer patients.
Christina was instrumental in the fundraising part. We set up this fund, and I suddenly get text messages from my friends saying it's at $40,000. And then my parents text me from Zimbabwe. It's like 2 a.m. in the morning. They're like, I just checked your fund. It's at $100 and something thousand. What do you say to that? And I got my mom crying on the phone, my dad crying on the phone. I'm getting a little welled up thinking about it right now. Christina and the foundation, I look at them as my savior.
Alyssa is an athlete, is probably the first thing I think of to describe her. She plays volleyball. Graduated in May. In September, her world kind of came to a screeching halt. She ended up in the emergency room with severe back pain. They did blood work, and that's when we got the diagnosis that she had leukemia. We live in Louisville, Kentucky. We found out fairly early on that she was going to need a bone marrow transplant in Cincinnati. We knew that we had to start looking for housing.
Going through cancer treatment is so difficult for not only the patient, but also their loved ones. Over the past 27 years, one of the biggest needs of patients is housing and can cause a family to go into bankruptcy.
The hospital requires you to stay within a 20 to 30-minute range of the hospital for the first 100 days after transplant. With everything else going on, it was overwhelming to say the least.
We know that many people need to travel for medical reasons, and we also know the cost can be very prohibitive for that travel. That's why we've been working very hard at Airbnb on a program called Open Homes. We couldn't be more excited than to partner with the Bone Marrow Foundation to connect the dots between our vast network of hosts globally with those traveling through the foundation.
Airbnb's Open Homes medical stays is an incredible partnership. We are going to be able to provide free temporary accommodations to cancer patients around the country. It's going to be life-changing for patients. Now that they have this housing that can be immediate, they don't have to delay treatment.
The social worker at the hospital said we might have a chance here of having Airbnb Open Homes covered by the Bone Marrow Foundation, which that just was too good to be true at the time, honestly. We've got a home to come back to, a kitchen that we can cook in, which is one of the things Alyssa loves to do. We've got enormous out-of-pocket expenses, related to all of her health issues. So just having that one little piece taken off our plate has made a big difference.
Our field has changed dramatically, the field of hematology and oncology, and it's become more complicated with newer therapies, new treatments, new drugs. The role of the foundation is really as important as that of the medical care. The change in the name itself from the Bone Marrow Foundation to the Bone Marrow and Cancer Foundation really reflects the foundation is extending its reach to a much wider cancer community.
My wife, Sasha, has been there for me every second of every day, through treatment, through getting to every single doctor's appointment.
When Sean got diagnosed with cancer, I was working 10, 12 hours a day.
The Bone Marrow and Cancer Foundation was instrumental in allowing Sasha to leave her job at the time and help me in my process.
Now that we've changed our name, I see us just having an incredible amount of growth to help respond to patients' needs.
The Bone Marrow and Cancer Foundation has been a lifeline for us.
You can worry about what you need to worry about, which is getting back to good health.
Our field is changing dramatically. The foundation is only able to keep pacing with the help of many supporters. I think their most important mission is actually for the next 27 years.
I think of Christina as my American mom. We even had a wedding in her house.
I remember it like it was yesterday. One of the greatest days of my life.
I can't imagine how we would have done it without her.
I love my job more than anything because I see the impact we are having in all these families' lives.
Be a lifeline.
Be a lifeline.
Please be a lifeline for the Bone Marrow and Cancer Foundation.